In the heart of a city that never truly slept, where glass towers rose like monuments to ambition and LED screens flashed numbers that ruled lives, there stood a company that never failed. Obsidian Holdings. When markets crashed, Obsidian rose. When competitors folded, Obsidian expanded. Analysts called it genius. Investors called it destiny. Employees whispered something else entirely. At the center of it all was Malik Adeyemi. Welcome to Tales by Fire, the home of African folktales, where wisdom hides in stories, and every tale carries the heartbeat of a people. If you love stories that keep the fire burning, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, so the flame of our tales never dies. Now, let the flames guide you, for tonight, a story begins. Malik was not loud, not flashy. He wore dark tailored suits, always perfectly pressed, his ties subtly woven with African patterns that spoke quietly of heritage in rooms obsessed with the future. He spoke little, listened deeply, and never smiled when profits were announced. Those who worked closely with him said Malik carried success like a burden, not a trophy. Obsidian Holdings had one rule that no financial journalist could ever explain. 20% of the company belonged to a shareholder whose name did not exist on paper. No photograph. No signature. No appearance at annual general meetings. Yet every quarter, dividends were paid. And every time they were paid, Obsidian grew stronger. Malik knew why. Years earlier, before Obsidian became untouchable, the company had been days away from collapse. Lawsuits stacked like unpaid bills. Banks withdrew support. Employees packed their desks in silence. Malik, then a young CFO, spent sleepless nights staring at balance sheets that bled red. One night, after the city lights dimmed and desperation outweighed logic, Malik followed a message passed to him by a retired trader who refused to meet in daylight. The message led him to the edge of the city, to an abandoned colonial trading house forgotten by time and swallowed by vines. The air there felt heavier, like history refusing to let go. Inside, seated at a wooden table scarred by decades of deals, was an old man dressed in flowing agbada, his fabric faded yet dignified. His eyes reflected neither kindness nor cruelty, only certainty. "You are losing," the man said, before Malik spoke a word. "I need capital," Malik replied. "Just enough to survive." The old man smiled. "No. You want dominance." He slid a document across the table. It was not paper, not quite. It smelled of smoke and earth. The words rearranged themselves as Malik read them. "Your company will never fail. Markets will bend. Competitors will fall. But 20% belongs to us. And payment will not always be money." "Who is us?" Malik asked. The lamps flickered. Shadows moved where nobody stood. "Those who traded before numbers had names," the old man replied. Malik signed. Obsidian rose faster than any company in its history. Malik became CEO. Awards followed. Headlines praised his discipline. But strange things began to happen. A senior executive collapsed the night after a record quarter. A warehouse accident claimed lives during a historic expansion. Families connected to the company began to fracture without reason. Each time dividends were transferred to the invisible shareholder, something living was taken in return. Malik tried to rationalize it. Stress. Coincidence. The cost of growth. Until the night of Obsidian's biggest achievement, its public listing, an IPO that would make Malik one of the most powerful executives on the continent. That same night, Malik's daughter, Zainab, collapsed. Hospitals found nothing wrong. No disease. No injury. Just exhaustion that did not make sense. Malik sat beside her hospital bed, watching market numbers reflect against the window glass, and understood what was happening. The invisible shareholder had come for its final payment. Malik returned to the abandoned trading house. The old man was gone. The table was gone. But the contract waited, glowing faintly in the air. "You cannot buy forever," the shadow said. "What do you want?" Malik whispered. "Balance." The next morning, Malik walked into the boardroom and did what no one expected. He dismantled Obsidian Holdings piece by piece, sold assets, freed employees, ended the pact. Markets panicked. Fortunes vanished. Headlines turned cruel. But Zainab woke. Obsidian Holdings fell from dominance, and the city moved on. But somewhere beneath the noise of the market, something ancient nodded in satisfaction. Because wealth that ignores its cost is always collected, one way or another.